What you see here is one of the most ridiculous EVs that we've had on the channel. Why? Well, you know what? This thing weighs almost 7,000 pounds. It has the aerodynamics of a big brick. It costs just as much as some houses do, yet somehow I think it kind of makes sense, and I think I kind of love it. Some of you may know that my wife Cynthia's favorite vehicle is the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon or the G-Class, and she loves EVs as well. So the blend of both together pretty well makes this her dream vehicle, which is why I'm going to do my best to keep this away from her. So the question is, by electrifying an iconic vehicle like the G-Wagon, is it just a flex with a plug, or is there really a purpose? Let me show you what makes this the most unnecessary yet totally awesome electric SUV that you can buy. Let's start with the most un-EV thing about it. It's the ladder frame. Yep. Mercedes didn't just slap a battery into a car chassis and call it a day. This is a full-on electric off-roader built on the same kind of frame you'd find in a traditional truck. They even added independent suspension all around, which makes it more comfortable and more capable than ever. Then you get a 116 kilowatt hour of usable lithium battery with motors on each wheel. This thing will pump out 579 horsepower, but get this, torque is rated at 859 pound-feet. It'll make a run from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour or 62 miles an hour in just 4.0 seconds, which is borderline absurd for a 7,000 pound brick. But here's the cool part. Since it has 4 motors, each wheel can be powered independently, giving you full vectoring for real off-road control. They call this G-steering. Then we get to what it's called G-turn. You may have seen this before in some other videos where this G-Wagon will literally rotate itself. It's wild, and you can do that because you have 4 independent electric motors. Some can go forward, some can go backwards, and this thing will literally turn on the spot. So why would you need this? Let's say you're going down a trail, you're not sure, you don't have any mapping or anything, and you get to the end of the trail, you're like, uh-oh, you know, it's very, very tight. It's maybe just the same width, a little bit bigger than your vehicle. So what do? Well, hey, you're gonna have to back all the way out, or you could G-turn. So in order to do that, what we have to do is we go into neutral, we're going to go into low range, and then we will go and hit the right button, which goes into G-turn. It's only in low range, but we also have to actually be in rock mode and activate drive pro. Okay, now we go into drive, and to turn the vehicle, hold the gear shift paddle and depress the accelerator pedal. All right, so which way you want to go? Hey, it's all up to you. I'm going to say, hey, let's go to the left side here. Let's make sure nothing's around here. I'm going to hold that pedal down, and look at, you can see here, and I'm just going to put my foot to the floor, and there we go. Now we turned around. Being a G-Wagon, of course, it's Shocko rated, so it's incredibly capable. You can water fjord up to 33.5 inches, which is almost 6 inches more than the gas version, which doesn't seem to make sense considering you're dealing with electricity and water. Everything is waterproof. In fact, I heard you could actually even go deeper, but then your HVAC system will actually start taking in water to the inside. Everything is very well protected. As you can see, this massive plate protects all the vital parts. G-Class would not be a G-Class without the sound of the locking mechanism. Oh yeah. Love it. Now, other than a little bit of badging like this EQ here, this 580 looks very similar to a regular gas version. There are some small little changes. This happens to be the Edition 1, so it gets special paint, it gets special wheels and some badging. It's for if you're looking for a 580, but you want to be even more special, then you go for the Edition 1. There are a couple things that are different though. One is the omission of course, this is an EV, there are no exhaust pipes anywhere around the vehicle. You know that G63, they have those side pipes, and you get that beautiful V8 sound. You're not gonna get it with this one. They have substituted it with what they call G-Roar, which we will check out inside, but I'm gonna say it right now, it doesn't come close or compare to that V8 engine sound that you get. So there is an advantage. Plus, if you are coming home late or something like that in your area and you want to be kind of like stealth, you can do that with an electric vehicle. You come around to the back, and this is kind of cool, but I do kind of question it. You get this storage pod instead of the full-size spare that you see on the regular G-Class. So we open it up, and it's a storage area where you can put your charger, so that's kind of practical. And it does take up less room in depth than that full-size spare. However, this is an off-road vehicle, so it's kind of odd that you don't have a spare tire. However, you can order a spare instead of this if you choose. Of course, you have the regular swing out door. Now, storage has been reduced by a little bit because you have the 2 electric motors on either side here, but it's still the regular boxy storage, really tall, big square opening. Inside, you're going to get something very similar to the regular G-Class for sure. You have that nice wide screen, a short deck here in front of the hood. You have your 2 marker lights on the fenders, which are great for knowing where your vehicle is, especially if you're off-roading. Yeah, very comfortable. Lots of luxurious features here. You have heated, you have ventilated seats. This also has active seats, which I do like a lot. So if you go to sport mode, it tightens up, but even if in regular mode, when you're turning a corner, it actually goes and pushes up against you to support you a little bit more. We have all different types of 360 cameras on here. We have a sunroof, a Burmester audio system. There's also an EQ button here, and that's going to bring up, our battery level, for instance, our consumption. Now, I'm not going to pretend that this is a really efficient EV, because it is not. It is not at all. It is almost 7,000 pounds. It's also, it's like a brick. We're averaging 40 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. That is one of the highest out of any EVs that we've actually driven. If you want to compare this to our Ioniq 5, this is double. It's double the mileage or the economy that you're actually getting from the Ioniq. So yeah, but is it more efficient than the gas? Absolutely. This is, that V8 is very, very thirsty. And so, you know what? This makes it a little bit more palatable, a little bit easier on the pocketbook. Now, believe it or not, this thing rides quite well. The newer version of the G-Wagon itself is such a marked improvement over the first generations that we drove. But corner-wise and comfort-wise, this thing can actually hold its own because it's very rigid. It has that ladder frame, but also they've built the battery to be part of the structure as well. So it's very rigid. And with all that weight on the battery, it's nice and low. So that actually aids a tall vehicle for center of gravity. As you can see here, the body roll is actually quite minimal for a big, boxy, tall vehicle. So we talked about no exhaust pipes and this G-Roar, that's what they're calling it. So when you have it activated, you can hear, even when you start it up, it has a little bit of a rumble. And if I accelerate, I'm not even sure if you can hear it. It's like a real mild V8. It's nothing like the AMG real sound, and I can't find any way to turn it up. It's actually quite quiet, actually. So, but it does make a difference. Believe it or not, it kind of messes with your mind. When you don't have it on, you just drive it, you're still getting the same power, but when you turn it on, that sound, you automatically feel like you have more power and it's more responsive. And I think that's just your mind playing tricks on you. That's what you're accustomed to associating sound and motion with. There are some things in life that just don't make sense. Sometimes right is actually wrong and wrong is actually right. And that may be the case for the G-Class of Mercedes. I've said this before. not very many people are going to take advantage of its capabilities, the shock rating, because this is a very expensive vehicle. And yeah, are you going to take a $200,000 vehicle and bash it around in the bush? Probably not. I'd say, you know what, this will see a lot more mall parking lots, and the most off-road that it'll probably see is maybe a gravel driveway heading up to your luxury cottage. But that definitely doesn't take away all the capabilities of what this has. So is it pointless or is it perfect? I would say neither are completely true. It's definitely not pointless, because by electrifying this, it has made a very inefficient vehicle a little bit more efficient, even though it's still a big brick, it's still very heavy. But the capabilities you have with that electrified powertrain with the 4 motors, not just the cool G-turn, which is amazing, but the G-steering, this is a real off-road machine. So this could be almost the most perfect G-Wagon out there. Why almost? Well, hey, you still are missing that cool V8 exhaust coming from those side pipes on the G63. Absolutely love that. The G-Roar helps, but it doesn't compare. But other than that, if you have a couple $100,000 burning a hole in your pocket and you want to have that G-Wagon experience, but you kind of want to do it in a kind of a silent flex, this is the one to get. 580 with EQ technology. That's it for today's video. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate everyone watching and leaving comments. And also, if you have any video suggestions, also leave those down below. See you in the next video. Ciao.
Happy wife on happy life.
Like always, if you enjoyed this video or any content on the channel, I have a lot of videos, and not just automotive. We have tech, outdoor equipment, including robotic lawnmowers and snow blowers, and even travel, so something for everyone. I would really appreciate if you hit that like and subscribe button. It's completely free, and it allows me to continue creating more content like this for you. Hope to see you on the next video. Bye.